ladies and gentlemen, to Puppet Master Month here on Reaction and Review. A couple of you guys are probably hearing this, and you probably think I sound a little bit weird. Yeah, well, that's because I've got a rather nasty cold. But you know what? Fucking A, I am not going to let a cold stop me from getting these movies done. Especially since I said that this was Puppet Master Month. I have no idea how fucking long I'm going to be sick, so it might be a little longer than the rest of the month before I'm finally well. So screw that shit. I'm getting this stuff done now. So, this is the 7th entry in the series. Or, yeah, 7th entry. So, yeah, I just had to double check there. My brain's kind of gone at the moment. A little bit of backstory. First of all, the recent episode was Curse of the Puppet Master, and I said that was by far the worst film in the series. Well, 1 year later, Full Moon Pictures decided to try it again. They wanted to try another Puppet Master film. Tonight's film is called Retro Puppet Master, which is yet another prequel, which I don't really know if it's supposed to be set before Puppet Master 3 or after. I really don't care, though. Right now, I'm just hoping and praying for this thing to be at least halfway decent. Because if this thing is nearly as bad as fucking Curse of, I'm going to be furious. So, about the only thing I can tell you guys is that with Retro Puppet Master, we have a whole new host of puppets added to the roster, and they're basically just older, essentially like prototype versions or retro versions, if you want to go by what it says on fucking Wikipedia and elsewhere, of the puppets that we all know and love, as well as also a couple of new ones too. But honestly, I know absolutely nothing beyond that, so I just have hopes on this one, guys. I really do. There's no way anything can be nearly as bad as what I saw in the last episode. There's no way this thing is going to be worse than Curse of the Puppet Master. You would have to have really... This thing would have to be shooting for the lowest standards possible to even do that. So, I am about to find out. So, without further ado, it's time to kick back, relax, and check out Retro Puppet Master. Well, guys, apparently I just might actually get my fucking wish from the previous episode. I mentioned the whole thing with like Puppet Wars, with the puppets fighting against classic monsters. Well, Sutek is back and he's just resurrected 3 fucking mummies. I kind of have hopes. God, the acting in this film is just hideous. I'm hoping.
Did you ever imagine the depths to which
is he supposed to be French? Because I'm not hearing no fucking accent. It seems a little off. So Sutek's mummies here have the ability to shapeshift. And for some reason they have this bad habit of talking in fucking triplicate. I'm not going to ask why. I'm just going to nod my head and pretend that makes some semblance of sense. So, the secret to bringing life to these puppets is not the green fluid we saw in Puppet Masters 2, 3, 4, 5. No, it's just taking a needle, jamming it in there, and then reciting something. It's that simple. The continuity, folks, is always getting fucked up in this series, but that actually just seems a little bit insulting. Okay, why the hell is this scene in slow fucking motion? I'm kind of wondering. It seems really pointless for this whole scene to be like slowed down like this, unless they're just trying to pad it out for time. Jesus, man. Okay, that has to be the shittiest punch I've ever seen thrown in any film, ever. That is a fucking accomplishment, guys. Alright, guys, I actually kind of feel like saying this. Not since Turkeys from Turkey Month have I seen such god-awful fight scenes in a goddamn movie. Jesus Christ. Well, folks, that was Retro Puppet Master. I've already popped out the disc, so I don't have to worry about doing that for this. Okay, so let's talk about the movie, shall we? First of all, I should mention that story. Okay, story wise, the film is okay. Allow me to just sort of give you guys a little brief summary on this. The film is essentially completely told in flashback. And it's essentially just Andre Toulon telling essentially a bedtime story to the puppets about the first batch of puppets he fucking made. And the story is going to be fine to everyone except for those who get really anal about the clusterfuck of continuity which the Puppet Master series has, and are going to complain about how the film is set in Paris and not in Egypt, amongst other things which kind of sort of give the finger to all the other continuity in the series. So, if you actually are able to leap over that hurdle, you should be fine. Acting, on the other hand, though, is a totally different story. The acting in this film is absolutely painful. This has to be some of the worst acting I have ever seen. It certainly is the worst acting in this film series. I will be able to say that without question. And the biggest issue has to do with accents. Because, you see, guys, the film is set in Paris, all right? It's set in France. And you would almost expect everybody to have some sort of a French accent, except for characters who are coming from Switzerland. There are actually a handful of characters who are fucking Swiss, and very few people in this film actually have accents. And it's really jarring when you have certain actors who are speaking with really thick accents, and then others who kind of talk like me. They have no accent to speak of. And that can really be a little bit jarring, especially when it's characters who are all supposed to be French, and they're all talking together, and you have certain, it really is just fucking jarring when it comes to the accents. Worst case is one of Sutek's minions, one of the shape-shifting mummy things, because this one minion has apparently 3 accents. He kind of sort of like bounces around between a light British accent, a thick Swedish accent, or a slight southern drawl. I am not fucking kidding you. It is the same actor, and he will slip from accent to accent in the same line, which is just hysterical when you really think about it. Honestly, guys, now, where I basically railed against Curse of because it was essentially fucking insulting to watch, this film is actually sort of saved by the very fact that it's so corny and it's so cheesy. You see, because I actually would rank it really close to Plan 9 when it comes to just films that are so bad they are hysterical. And it has to do with the bad acting. It has to do with the questionable effects. I should mention effects, visual ones, which basically are the energy pulses that actually come out of the minions' hands, are really cheap, really stock, but they almost work in their own like warped sort of way. The puppets actually are a vast improvement over what I saw in Curse of the Puppet Master. However, I do once again have to mention the few instances where you could actually see what was moving the puppet, and it was in like a real like painfully obvious manner. First one is when Toulon first goes and he reanimates every single puppet. The camera is behind the puppets, and you can see Six Shooter, and Six Shooter's arms are like straight out, and you can see a rod like jutting out, and the camera is almost focused directly on that fucking rod, which makes it even funnier. And one other instance would have to be. A different puppet, and I really could not tell you which, because a whole lot of these puppets look really similar in fucking Retro, but this puppet apparently was attempting to salute Toulon, and rather actually than use fucking like rods or something to actually move the arm, swear to God, somebody had a glove which was made out of the same fabric as the puppet's sleeve, and you just see these big fucking fingers grab onto the hand and move it up and down in a saluting motion. It's really funny. You see it and you are guaranteed to giggle slightly because it is just so obvious. It is so corny. It is so bad, and it makes it almost charming. For anyone out there who is sort of looking for a comparison of sorts, I would have to compare this thing to a Sci-Fi Channel original film. It really is on that level because it has bad acting, it has cheap effects, it's just laughably bad. However, though, that also is a rather bad comparison because Puppet Master versus Demonic Toys was a Sci-Fi Channel original film, and that thing sucked balls. But this thing at least was halfway decent. This one actually was kind of funny. And really, I would almost have to recommend it just because it seriously is a must-see for people who are really into bad films. It really is, guys. Honestly, there is no way in hell that I would ever be able to recommend this thing as a good film or a quality film. But I actually would at least say check it out if you're really into B films, because you will love this thing then. About the only other thing I can say, guys, right now is we've got one film left for Puppet Master Month, and that is the newest one. Came out last year, called Puppet Master Axis of Evil. I have no idea about what in the hell, or rather about how good that is going to be, but guys, as of right now, but I should mention this now, I've watched 7 films in this box set. 7 out of 9, and there's one of them that I flat out refuse to cover for this series. So far, out of 7, there's really only one that I could easily say is just unwatchable and shit, and that was Curse of the Puppet Master. So, guys, as of right now, if Axis of Evil is great, this box set would definitely be worth the purchase. Otherwise, your best bet's just to look for the 3 film sets, and then you don't have to worry about Retro, Legacy, or Axis of Evil. So yeah, guys, we are bearing down on the home stretch of Puppet Master Month, and this has been an absolute blast. So guys, until next time, take care, and I will see you all in the near future. Peace.